Hello, Collective. Hope July 26th is finding you full of energy, full of love. Thank you so much for your readings. I feel like you really give homage to people that have a lot of mileage on their soul. Like you really honor that soul that's maybe got 200,000 miles on the odometer. And you're like, oh, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? I changed the oil. I put gas in the tank, but is this soul gonna make it? I feel like you honor those souls. Thank you so much. So this is from John 8 and 12. It's kind of a paraphrase, but basically I speak not my own words, but the words of the one who sent me. Because I feel like you know this with your readings, that a lot of the things that you even say are from the people that, your ancestors, your family, that want to make sure that, thank God, this generation has a microphone to tell the world this stuff. You know, they're so thrilled that we can get this stuff out in the open. When my twins were born, I thought it was really interesting that one of them slept, but the other one stayed awake. And it was like that. It's been like that their whole life. And it's almost like one keeps guard over the other. They're Gemini. But I thought, and I used to really hate it because then I couldn't sleep, you know, because always one of them was awake. They wouldn't ever sleep. But now I like it because there's always somebody on guard. So if you have twins in your life and you kind of notice those idiosyncrasies, I think that's definitely not a coincidence. So they've been getting me into Stranger Things, like this series on Netflix, and I am blown away by all these cool scenes and just symbolisms and things that you can gather from this show. This is the curse. This is the curse that, you know, it's set in like the 80s and stuff, so it's kind of cool to look at like the cereal boxes and stuff from the 80s. But yeah, if you haven't tuned into that show, you know, just to get and my ancestors were right on top of me watching it. Like, you know, there was a scene where the sheriff or deputy, he was trying to get away from the Russians in Alaska, and one of the remarks the Russian made is, oh, he got away, and it was 100 against 1. And I feel like that, Collective. I feel like you're the one. You're the one that escaped. You're the one that got away because you thought differently. And so, yeah, you know, Satan's really big in this Stranger Things, where they'll put images and things, and I feel like, you know, like the paper towels that, like, you know, if you spill a soda or something, and you buy the right paper towels, and it'll absorb it all, you know, and that's what they felt like. Your enemy felt like that these little images or these little nightmares were just gonna like suck into your subconscious and completely destroy you and eat you from the inside out. You wouldn't be able to move on. You wouldn't be able to brush them off. You wouldn't be able to let them go because they would just sink into your psyche and destroy your good health, your spiritual health. And I hadn't even thought of some of these images until I watched Stranger Things, and I'm like, damn, I remember that. I remember that image or that thing happening to me. She steps on like this spider sack, you know, and all these little baby spiders, like, you know, that stuff actually happened to me. But now with readings and spiritual downloads, it's like, well, hell, spiders represent money, so that was probably just us telling you that you're gonna have a lot. So it didn't traumatize me. But yeah, you know, they try and get into your psyche, and this will handicap them, this will stop them, this will freeze their good health. And I've always felt like my stronger health was always more important to me because of my spiritual guides. So a mark of the beast, Spirit wants me to kind of convey one of these too. So, you know, there's people out there that collect photos and things for their ancestry and their tree and all this, and they date the photos, right? Well, that's perfectly normal, you know, because you want to have those dates. But if you have family members that are sending you, like, you know, like for holidays and things, like cards that are dated, that's the final countdown of stuff. I don't think they need to be dating your Christmas card. To me, it's kind of a mark of like, well, why is this date so important? Like, why is there a date on my Mother's Day card or a date on my birthday card? But it's almost like, and a lot of mine were signed with a date, like, you know, Like, I will remember that this person was still with us at this point in time. That's a little overkill because every single one of them was dated. I can see like one or two, but do we have to date all of them? Like, you know, it's Mother's Day, 2021, and that's the signature, you know, 2021. That's overkill, overkill. You know, and when your Christmas card is dated, it's like, yo, I know it's Christmas, but let's make sure and put 2021 on there. Just saying. Something to think about, something to look at. Because, you know, I do want my photos dated to remember, oh yeah, that was the summer of, but I just think it's a little, one of those things to tune into. You know, growing up, maybe collective, you had to teach yourself a few things because you had absent parents or busy parents, and some of it you were totally okay with. Like, you were okay teaching yourself to ride a bike or French braid your own hair. You know, you didn't have parents that had time for that, which is totally cool. And you are a skilled person because of it. You taught yourself many things that maybe some other individuals can't do because their parents enabled them and did it for them. You know what I mean? But you had to teach yourself. And that stuff I'm okay with. But if you, like, for example, in my situation, I was 28 when I had my first child, and the midwife is like, oh, by the way, your thyroid doesn't work. I was 28 years old and had to find that out. Now, see, that's a serious thing because you can be misdiagnosed with a not working thyroid for like schizophrenia, bipolar. You can be misdiagnosed with many different things. I think my graduating picture for when I graduated college, I was like over 200 pounds. And the family around me that took the photo, they're just so proud and they're beaming, and I'm just sitting there going, how could, you know what I mean? It's like, I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. But it could have been spell work, it could have been my thyroid, I don't know, but the bottom line is there wasn't anyone that cared enough to step in and, oh yeah, by the way. Plus, you know, have your kid checked out for allergies and stuff, you know. There's a lot of allergies around here. And a lot of times when you go through these spiritual battles, they know that, so they'll attack certain things to make you like break out in hives or what have you. And I just look back on it and I think, wow, you know, because I really, in my 20s, went to see healers. I went to an iridologist who checked out the iris of my eye and gave me herbs and things to help with so I was already taking iodine and things to nourish my thyroid, but no practitioner had actually told me, oh, by the way, yours doesn't work, your thyroid, you know. That would help. Thank you so much. And now, you know, I'm almost, well, 47, 40, 46, whatever I am. You know, I have it pretty much balanced, but I feel like those are other indicators. Like, did they take the time to care enough to help you with things like that? You know, not everybody has a family that actively sought other people to bring them down and hurt them. Some people just had families that were really busy, and because they were trying to make their way right in the world, which I totally respect. So yeah, a couple things of the beast there. Oh, this one wanted to come out, so I'm going to put them in there. Okay, yeah, so John Wayne. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So I wanted to talk to John Wayne for a while. So I get out my phone, you know, and I start looking at his movies and stuff, and I see this movie from 1941 called The Betrayed Man. And of course he chimes in. And I'm reading about this movie. And there was a scene in this movie, I guess, where they wanted a double well, first of all, the movie's about how he goes to investigate the shooting of a friend and finds out that it's all tied up in this gambling ring, and there's this daughter of the boss man that he falls in love with, John Wayne does, in this movie. And he says to me, there's a scene where they wanted a double to play, and you can look this movie up and they'll tell you about this as well, but they wanted to play the double for this scene, this girl that he fell in love with. And John says to me, you know, love should always be the real thing. So he didn't use the double. He used the real actress that was supposed to be his love interest. And I felt like he said that to me because of the people that were sent toward me that were supposed to stand in as a double. You know, like, we'll just have her love him, kind of manufactured love. But, you know, love is always the real thing. And I feel like Spirit always knew that my heart was always, like, pure. Like, I'm just a lovable, you know, like this person's the person, you know, so let's just give them 100%. And then I started reading about that lover's card, number 6 and stuff, and it's like you never give 100% because you have to stand on your own. And you can't do that if you're giving everything to that other person. So I've learned that's a little bit of wisdom just in my walks with love, is that you definitely give, you know, but if it's not that spiritual give and take, then definitely don't surrender 100% of your gold, your liquid gold collective. You know, that's not what it's about. That liquid gold is that's from God, that's from spirit, that's from source. So yeah, good day, good day. I feel the energy shifting. Hey, if you guys have neighbors that do not for example, I have neighbors that will come down the driveway. They live here, right? But if they see me outside, they won't get out of their car. They'll actually drive back up the driveway. So that might be an indicator that, yo, something's shady. They don't want to get out of their car and say hello. And it's the same thing, like if they're sitting in their car, they purposely don't get out of the vehicle to say hello or what have you, you know. And my vehicle is right there as well, so it's not like it is kind of awkward. That's not supposed to be awkward for you, collective. That's just the indicator from the universe that, yo, just watch that person. They probably know more than they're letting on. They're probably sent here to live by you, watch you, mess things up when you're not here, that kind of thing. But yeah, so invest in that ring. I think it's the ring. You can get it on Amazon or Home Depot, that camera that you can have in your environment so that you can just watch things, especially your children, you know. I don't have valuable things here, but it would bother me if they were uncomfortable here, so you can watch that kind of thing. Yeah, I like the readings. There's a really good vibe in the readings. If you're in the astral travel thing and you notice like people are trying to apologize to you in the 5D or 9D or whatever, it's not what they say, it's what they do. So I feel like it would overload your circuits, collective, if you accepted a verbal apology in the 5D, just because you haven't seen or witnessed any of the actions from their behalf on what your 3D. So I've always thought that about someone's character, is that, you know, watch what they do, not what they're saying exactly, because actions speak kind of louder in that, especially with an apology, because you're going to tell by their actions if they're sincere or not. People can really manipulate words. You just got to be really careful about that. So in the middle of this reading is somebody left in the cold. I'm going to qualify it and see if it's your environment or if that's actually you that's feeling left in the cold. I hope not, because I feel like you're really strong right now, collective, and you're really getting the gist of what's going on right now. Yeah, Stranger Things. I'm really digging that. I'm digging all those like symbolisms and things. And it makes sense, you know, they have the popular kids and they have the kids that are in like the video games and things. And you can see that. I've seen it all through like the groups and clubs and things I've been, like whether it be school or work or what have you. There's always those groups that kind of split off from each other. And then ultimately it doesn't matter if you do video games or you're in sports or what have you. There's that feeling of rejection if you're bullied or what have you, that that makes somebody that's hurt or unhealed do something cruel. And that's kind of what's going on here, is somebody was bullied and they haven't got the results yet, so they're going to be cruel. You know, they haven't put you 10 feet under, so we're just going to be cruel at this point. So to qualify this in the cold, yeah, they're really hoping to get a victory. They're really wanting this victory of this broken heart, leaving you out in the cold, not sending anyone towards you. I think you're fine with it. I think they've kind of, I don't know, I've realized that being on my own makes me kind of stronger mentally. Any information that comes forward, I have to watch what they're doing, you know. I can't just take for what they're saying to me as biblical, you know. I have to be like, well, where are you in this equation and what have your actions been? because you can tell me about anything you want me to believe. So yeah, so that's your environment. I don't know why I'm shuffling. I guess I felt like I needed more information on that. So in the lower subconscious is, you know, this apology, or this like, hey, you know, somebody wants to come forward and say, look, you know, this is the situation, lovingly telling you this was my part in it, what have you. In the front of your consciousness, yeah, this Lover's card, I love this card, right? You know you can't give 100% anymore to these people. And if you do have communication with them, I hope it's through a litigator or somebody in law enforcement. You know what they've done because you walked it out. So you saw every single action. And the Stranger Things helped me pick out those images again, because I really let them go. But when I was watching this show, I'm like, oh yeah. So, and that's spirit trying to remind you, like, you remember when that happened. And, you know, I guess they thought that that was going to crumble you, like psychologically disturb you or make you uneasy and not of the right, stable kind of mind. You're moving away from, oh wait, I got to read the card that's crossing this energy. I didn't read that card, and it is, yeah, the theft. They're left out in the cold from this theft. Whatever they took from you, whether it be physical or mental or emotional, yeah, they really wanted to get away with that. And it, you know, it was so many small steps. Like, don't overlook the small steps, because they really felt like that was going to be the trump card. You know, we'll just isolate or put her in this really crappy environment so that she crumble. Kind of, just look at your steps. Like, look at how small they were. Like, maybe it was the flat tire when you went out to work one day, or maybe it was, you know, the coworker that got you in trouble. I don't know, but they really felt like each of those little tiny things was gonna just, yeah, no more, you know. Look at what's at the bottom of the deck. Yay. So you're moving from, yeah, they're feeling this. They gotta walk away. And they really want to head toward this for the family. And this card can mean 10 of Cups, like your whole happiness, but this could also just be walking away, going back to the family, because maybe they did something independent from this group, and they're realizing that I have to stick with these people, because now if we divide each other's story up, we're all going to go down. But maybe if I stick with this group, we can somehow talk our way out of this. That's what I would think, right? You know how people turn when they're being questioned and stuff, like, oh no, so-and-so, and then they try and put the blame on somebody else, when they were a part of it the whole time. I mean, I would think as an investigator it would be kind of obvious that they all wanted a part of this luxury. Okay, so they all participated to get to the luxury, and now it's at risk. And so, yeah, you can split off and try and, you know, say, oh, I wasn't really a part of it. You know, I didn't know all the information. Well, you knew what was at the end of the race, so you had to have known more than you realized, because they wouldn't have even done this small stuff collective if they hadn't have known about this. So that's just my wisdom in that. And it's this person. Yo, look at her. She's actually one of the high-ranking cards. I mean, this is a person of spiritual authority. They've passed some tests in their karma. They know about this stuff and how to respect the spirit world. But I feel like they elevated themselves to a position that the spirits weren't very comfortable with. You know, like, and you know why? Because collective, you didn't retaliate. See, like, if you had retaliated and like called them on this stuff and like sent your own minions out to hurt this person, then it'd be different. But there was just 100 to 1. You know what I mean? And it was like, you just endured. You endured. And because you weren't aware, maybe at some point in the journey, you actually, you know, paid them a lot of respect, went out of your way to make sure, yeah, you know, I'll go to this function, or I'll do this, and I'll put my best foot forward. And it was nothing but a show for them, you know, to go back to these meetings and talk and say, wow, you know, we got to work on this, this, and this. So, yeah, this is down here in their hopes and wishes. No, this is how people see them. They see them at a stalemate, and that's kind of obvious, right? Because they have committed this, and they're not getting very far with their defense, is what I'm getting. So they're here. Because they could make an effort with Olive Branch, but you know, I'm making it clear, and I hope you are, collective, that those boundaries have been set. So anything, it's not going to be sincere, you know. So give me the words that you wrap up so nicely in a poem or what have you. I'm sure the card will be dated. right, yo. Let's give her this apology card and make sure and date it. Because it's just this final countdown for them. We don't want you here. And you're cool with that, because they don't get to decide. That's the genius of it. They don't get to decide. You do, okay? I am no respecter of persons. You got a heartbeat, you got a high vibration, knock yourself out. You're gonna do awesome, okay? They don't see it that way. They're like, you provide no value here. You have no use here, no use. And whatever thyroid that doesn't work, or whatever God you choose, we're gonna take that down, because we're gonna prove that you're unstable and that you don't jive with what's really going on in the real world. And that's great, but I feel like you were loyal. I feel like you did your part. I feel like, you know, you went to work every day, you came home, you took care of your family, and you weren't around in these little groups and covens doing these things. So that's for someone else to decide, not the Hierophant. And it burdens them. It burdens them, okay? That's in the hopes and wishes. It's a burden to them. And this is the result of this reading, is this love. This Ace of Cups. Thank God, right? Yeah, this is love. And this is the most love. This is the most love. The cup runneth over. And he set the table with your enemies, and he let you eat with them, he let you break bread with them. And now it's time for the divine to bring you the love, because they obviously couldn't do it lovingly. That's why I love my spirit guides, right? Because I don't care where you're at, collective. I'm sorry about that light. It's kind of bright, huh? If you don't have someone to share this experience with, take a drive in your car and listen to your frequencies or what have you, and talk to yourself. I guarantee there's going to be a spirit guide or ancestor that's going to chime in. Because I start talking to myself, and all of a sudden I get these little, like, and then they kind of direct my thoughts and what I'm saying out loud to myself, because it feels so good to hear the truth out loud. It feels so good to realize, yo. And maybe you don't want to share with a lot of people. Maybe you want to get on YouTube and share the whole damn story. But either way, your ancestors are there. They're going to protect you, because your experience was horrible. and just heartbreaking that someone would want to go out of their way to do that. And to not value you. When every drop of blood and every hair on your precious head, whether it be fake or not, it's yours. And it's a gift. You're a gift. I love you, collective. Have a great day.